Hey guys, so I just installed the new firmware version 1.5 for the Canon EOS R6. I think it's definitely a really big improvement over the last firmware. The reason for that is they did a really good job with updating the autofocus system in the Canon R6. Now, what they did was they made it better for eye tracking. So if something goes in front of your eyes, like say your hair, shadows on the eyes, that happens a lot of times where the autofocus used to really struggle, it's gotten notably better. So you really don't lose focus nearly as much as you used to, and that's a really big deal. Now the other thing is that they've made it so that if you do like turn away and you lose the face or you lose the eye, it's just going to switch around to your head, or even if it loses the entire head, it's then going to now detect your torso. And all of this basically means that the autofocus system, when you're trying to track somebody or somebody's face, it's just gotten way better, and it's noticeably better. You can right away tell the difference. The second thing is the fact that they added vehicle detection, and wouldn't you know it, right after I installed this software, something happened that was a little bit crazy. But it was the perfect opportunity for me to try out the vehicle autofocus, and it worked perfectly. All I did was point up with the vehicle autofocus selected, and it just tracked right onto the vehicles, no problem. The third thing is going to be that they added a new mode in the display performance settings, and what that is it's suppress lower frame rate. If, like me, you've noticed that when you look through your electronic viewfinder in dark scenarios, there would be some kind of like really low frame rate or kind of lag when you would use the electronic viewfinder, it's made it notably better. I was able to put this on and go ahead and go into my electronic viewfinder and pan around in dark scenarios, and I didn't notice any lag at all in my electronic viewfinder. So again, there's three things in this update that I think are going to be really important for people. One is going to be the fact that there's a noticeable difference in the aggressiveness or stickiness of the autofocus when tracking somebody's eyes or face. The ability to now track somebody's torso if it happens to lose the head, so just overall much better performance when tracking somebody. The addition to vehicle tracking, so we can now choose vehicle as the main subject and it will choose to stay locked on to just any vehicles that are in the frame. Very cool. And then the third thing is going to be adding this suppress lower frame rate mode inside of your display settings, and that's also really awesome because it does seem to have fixed that little bit of lag that sometimes would present itself in your electronic viewfinder if panning around in dark scenarios. So these three things I think are really the biggest changes that you're going to notice in your camera. Okay guys, so let's just go down the list of all of the things that firmware 1.5 added. Now, number one is improves head detection performance to support helmets or goggles in winter sports. Two is adds vehicle selection to subject to detect selection in the autofocus tab to support the detection of automobiles and motorcycles in motorsports. Adds spot detection when vehicles is selected as the helmet of the driver or rider. Detection may not be possible for ordinary passenger cars or bicycles, or for motorcyclists performing stunts or kicking up dirt and dust. It's weird that they say that it won't work for ordinary passenger cars, because it does. I tested it on just normal cars and it works fine, but so I'm not sure why that disclaimer's there. But number three, improves detection performance for eye detection when there are shadows on the face or hairs hanging over the eyes. Really noticeable, and that's a really big improvement. I think that's going to be the first thing that people really notice. Number four, adds support for torso detection of a person if the eyes, face, or head are hidden or cannot be detected. A person's torso will be detected and tracked continuously, which again just really makes it a better overall autofocus for tracking people, because now if it loses your face or your head, it's going to grab your body instead of just focus hunt and not know where to go. Number five, adds the ability to import manual white balance data from the quick control screen when capturing still images. Number six, eliminates the center press operation of the multi-controller to prevent accidentally transferring images during FTP transfer. Number seven, adds the ability when using the EOS utility for remote shooting with two cards inserted to set the record method and to select which card to be recorded to. Number 8, adds suppress lower frame rate to smooth in display performance, enabling the shooting screen to be displayed with less drop frame even in the dark locations. Now that's something that's a really big deal because it really did suffer from some electronic view lag, which I've noted in other videos that I've made. It's noticeably better. Like, I put it on and I wasn't seeing any lag at all. Now I've only tested it a couple of times. Definitely improvement there, so that's awesome. Number 9, changes the default value of the FTP server from passive mode to enable. Number 10, improves operation stability during FTP transfer. Number 11, optimizes control of in-body stabilization when using specific EF lenses not equipped with the image stabilization function. Number 12, fixes an issue in which noise occurs along the edges of bright subjects when using Canon log for movie recording. That's interesting. I never noticed that before. So anyway, guys, like I was saying, I think out of everything that they added in firmware version 1.5, I think there's going to be 3 very noticeable things for people. Again, 1 being the noticeably better autofocus tracking for people, 2 obviously being the ability to now track vehicles, and 3 the addition of that suppressed lower frame rate in the settings of the display performance for your electronic viewfinder, and that's another really big deal. So Canon's doing a really good job with these firmware updates. You know, everybody likes to really give Canon a hard time and talk about the Canon cripple hammer and how could they do more with their cameras, but honestly I feel like they're really taking good care of R6 users, R5 users, 1DX Mark III users. They're really giving us all of the new stuff. Like, these are things that came out with the R3 that now they've added to the R6 and R5, so honestly I couldn't be happier. I feel like a lot of the bugs, they're paying attention to what people are telling them, they're quashing those bugs or trying to improve things as best as they can, and giving us a lot of new features with these firmware updates. So I'm really happy with what Canon's doing here. Anyway, guys, if you think this helped you in any way, think about going below, subscribing, clicking the notification bell, and I'll see you guys on my next video.